Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, coming at you with another edition of VR news, with plenty to talk about like all weeks. And you're coming at me today all dressed up, buttoned up.
I'm in my work attire.
Yeah, coming straight from...
Nice lavender shirt.
From a work shift. Usually we record Sunday in the morning time because that's your day off, but unfortunately...
Sunday evening.
Yeah, you got called into work. Late last night, you got the call that, change of plans.
It happens.
Yep, part of the...
Not a lot. So, knock on wood. My track record
is pretty good. Your work's pretty understanding with it, so we can't really complain.
Last job, though?
Yeah, that was brutal.
Every week, right?
Mm-hmm. It made it tough to coordinate interviews and stuff because we didn't know which day off you were going to have.
It was literally every weekend.
Yeah, so I can't complain. This is like the first time since you've gotten that one, but
here we are.
And since we're recording late at night, it's going to be the only episode this week, but we'll try to make it doubly fun just to compensate. And we were talking a little off air. As of right now, the podcast is sponsorless, I'll say. No ad reads going on right now.
No. Manscaped
right now is not a current sponsor.
Adios.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the way business goes, though. Nobody has the same sponsor for everyone forever, but
no, you can't.
Wow, we had them for like
3 years.
Almost, just about.
Yeah.
If not even maybe even a little bit more. I'd have to go back and look, but it's not even about the product or anything like that. It's like, ooh, that was a longtime friend saying bye to a friend.
You could pull the Band-Aid quicker,
Yeah. So usually we do the Patreon shout outs and stuff like that before our ad reads. But since there's no ad reads on this edition of VR News, let's give a shout out to our Patreon peeps to kick off the episode. The people that support us month after month. And if you want to join this list as well, you can visit the link in our show notes. I'll plug that a little bit more after. But huge shout out to our Patreon supporters on our on-air shout out tier. We have Amelia, Asim, Mike Wentworth Bell, a.k.a. Aspire Mike. We have T-Peasy. We have Jake, Carson, Earth Witness, Crispy, and Shoes. So thank you all for your continued support. If you want to join that list, visit the link in our show notes to become a supporter of the Ruff Talk VR podcast. We have a couple different Patreon tiers. One with on-air shout-outs. One also with on-air shout-outs, your name across the bottom of a tier. One with no shout-out, but you get access to an exclusive Discord channel in our Discord server, which, by the way, I say it every week. Check out our Discord server. It's the place to be. A lot of cool game meetups, book discussion, music discussion, random off-topic discussion. It's a good place.
Got our Grim channel, man. Grim.
I think that we're going to make
Amelia named it that, right?
Yeah, Grim.
I wasn't sure if that was you or her, but when I had posted, can someone please make a Grim channel?
You're like, I'm fully capable of it, but I don't want to mess anything up.
Nah, people work way too hard putting this together. And it keeps growing and evolving as well. So,
like a lot of Discord servers, we also had an influx of some annoying spam bots that we've cut out. We've finally gotten the kibosh on it, but I think that was part of your fear.
The OnlyFans bot?
Yeah, you're like, don't let me set up another server or another room and have it be disastrous.
Yeah, I wasn't responsible for them coming in the first place, but
so yeah, now we have a channel in there just for Grim discussion because me, you, and Chadwick are like 3 of 68 people that have access to Grim.
I think Chadwick was 69. There's somebody in the Discord on the Grim side who he's not a tester either, but he keeps track of how many testers.
Yeah, because people are itching for it, so we're definitely, I'll say, lucky to have.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Fuck luck. That's just blessing.
Thank you, Spoon, for access to that. But yeah, we even have a Grim discussion channel in there. So
building the army. And what's cool is when I posted, I'm like, because the reality of like the magnitude of how this has to be played is really, the more I play it, the more I'm realizing like, oh, we're going to need legit.
Well, think of it.
Fucking platoon.
A group of 6 on at once, 2 people building, 2 people gathering resources, and 2 people out exploring to gather.
10.
I'm talking the minimum. Ideally 20, the more the merrier. Dominate that server. But you can see how just 6 alone is just, even that is a ideal number. We took on the bear last night.
Yeah, I got my ass kicked.
Well, to be honest with you, to give ourselves some credit, we took out a deer first.
Yeah, but deer ain't fighting back. You hit the deer with an arrow, it runs away.
We hit that deer like 3 or 4 times before he dropped 2. And I didn't want to say it while we were playing because I was the one like, let's go kill this bear before we hop off.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, if the deer took 3 or 4 shots.
Oh, I did say it.
I was like, that bear is going to.
I said it while we were running to him. I'm like, it took 3 shots. Didn't it take 3 shots to kill a deer?
The bear is going to kill us.
How many shots did we get? We got some shots on him, though.
I got off 3 shots on him.
I know I hit him at least twice. I thought, yeah, I definitely hit him twice.
I hit him 3 times. It was the easiest to hit him while he was chasing the other person.
Yeah, no shit.
But then once he killed you, then he's only chasing me. So that's how I think that's got to be the strategy if we go and fight him without better weapons. But I think we should just get better weapons.
We need some bandages or some shit because the reality is I think he bit me when I was running over by the
and then
building.
You bled out.
And then I was bleeding out because I was counting down my own death. I'm like, I think I'm dying. And I looked at him. I'm like, oh, I'm at 15 health. Oh, now I'm at 6.
Like, I am dying. Yep.
That's how it ends. I'm like, yep, I'm dead.
And after you died, that bear ate me. But we're getting the hang of things. We had a bunch of resources.
Yeah, last night was real fun.
Yeah, we're getting the hang of it. So check out the Ruff Talk VR Discord. We also have game meetups. Like, Amelia does a great job organizing walkabout meetups with a new course.
DLC drops.
Synth Rider nights.
Guaranteed to find all the balls, and you're gonna play your 18 holes with a bunch of good people.
VR social app meetups like Resonite and stuff like that. And then we have Shoes in there crushing it with game key giveaways as well too.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, Shoes does a great job managing all that.
I always secretly think Shoes is really an inside man who just pretends to.
Remember we had that suspicion
when we saw him in the game,
and then we saw him on the Twilight Zone wall, and I was like, I knew it. And he was like, no, I just helped on beta tests and stuff. But I was like, I don't believe it yet.
That's what he says.
I mean, I'm still skeptical.
You know what goes in front of Shoes? The word slippery. And that's the act that's being played. But regardless.
No, does a great job managing the giveaways and stuff. So
fantastic. Everyone on the mod team is just, they're all like one nice unit.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of the show, go check out the Discord. Go check out the Patreon. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars, all that stuff. No ad reads today. But if you're a studio, development, publisher, anything like that, you want to maybe talk about some ad reads and stuff like that, shoot us an email at Damien@rufftalkvr.com. Look at that. Custom domain email address, too.
DAMIEN.
Ooh, that is important to say, huh?
At rufftalk.com.
Rufftalkvr.com.
There you go. I fucked it up, too.
DAMIEN at rufftalkvr.com.
So that's why you're not getting my email.
There we go. So, on to the actual VR news now that we've had some fun.
Please.
Ghosts of Tabor, they have officially launched on the Pico platform. Woo! Maintaining cross-platform support as well, meaning that
Dude, they're crazy.
People on Pico platforms, live and servers, get to play with PC players and with Quest players. It's not its own specific servers for that platform.
It looks so nice on PC VR.
Yeah.
And
they're doing a great job.
And it's cool because it looks pretty damn good on the Quest 3.
Yeah.
But just the, and I won't say it's like such a change that you're going to go like, holy shit, I'm never playing the Quest 3 version again. It's not that drastic, but it's like where the changes are. I'm like, all right, it's cool that you can tighten up the artwork like that.
Yeah. They're playing on PC VR. For one, I'll say I'm so grateful for how seamless our PC VR experience has been.
Yeah. I got it pretty much figured out.
I turn on my computer, boop, takes 15 seconds to boot up, super fast.
No joke.
I log in, do, and then virtual desktop opens up by default. And then I put on my headset, I open up virtual desktop. It's literally like 60 seconds extra time in my setup process. It's so seamless. But I will say PC VR has weirdly given me an appreciation for how good the Quest 3's graphics are on standalone VR.
For some games, yeah.
It's like
what I expected some things to look like. It just wasn't.
Maybe I had unrealistic expectations after
100%.
Because I expected PC VR to be doubly, if not triple, as good at graphics as the standalone VR, which I'll be honest with you, they weren't. It was just like tighter resolution, extra details in spots. So I'm like, wow, the Quest standalone headsets have come a long way.
Yeah, it's holding its own. I mean, I'll admit it's definitely not PC VR, but in some games, it's like it's close enough that it really doesn't matter.
I think if we were to have hopped into PC VR when we had our Quest 2, would have been a much noticeable.
It would have been,
especially like when we first got the Quest 2.
I put my Quest 2 on last week.
Yeah. I told you about this experience like a month ago, and you're like, shut up. And now you experienced it too.
And it's funny because the pass-through, which to me at the time, the black and white pass-through, I'm like, I can live with it. I can see just fine around my room. But I was like, holy crap, is there something wrong with my headset? And I'm like, no, this is just how it was.
And it's pretty uncomfortable. It's bulky. It's
that
heavy.
Difference,
it's kind of janky feeling.
It's got the weight. You can definitely feel the weight. And then for some reason, and I don't want to get into, but I had to put on my old Quest 3 strap, like the one that comes with the headset.
Yep.
Yeah, not good. Not good. I instantly got it so I could put the other one back on with the back support. But man, the one thing I miss more than anything, and it felt so good to pick up, was the Kiwi extended grip controllers.
Yeah.
With the weight. I'm like, fuck, I miss these.
We were so decked out on Kiwi gear.
I don't care about the ring because I never really had a problem with it, but those things stay in your hand.
Yeah.
And the
Papa grips is what I'll say.
The really nice head strap too. I was like, man, I miss you so much. And I know you can modify it to fit, but I'm just not.
I'm not drilling holes in it.
No, and the battery's not going to support it anyways, as far as like actually charging the damn headset. So, but yeah, I put the 2 on, and I will say, if you're a 2 owner, OMG, that difference is monumental.
And we didn't feel that way when we first got the Quest 3. Remember our first night? We were like, oh, this is kind of, I might even go back to the Quest 2 just because we have all the accessories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now I don't think I could.
No. I don't want, if I don't have to. It's cool to have it, but it's just a little piece now that can sit over there. And if I don't have to wear it, I'm great.
But got a little sidetracked, but Ghosts of Tabor officially launched on the Pico platform.
That's huge.
That is. And I think, when they launch on PSVR 2 with no date of that, all they've said is, it's in the works. Eventually it's going to come. When it's ready, it's ready. There's no reason to rush anything.
I'll give them props for going PSVR 2. Because if they chose not to, it's not like anybody would be like, well.
Yeah, but they're getting hounded about it. I see it in all the
Well,
comments.
they're smart. And, Scott's going to hit every fucking platform he can hit. So, I mean, it's good. But I get it when developers are kind of like one eye in that whole area. But regardless, it's going to be huge for PSVR 2. It's going to look nice, too, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. When that launches on PSVR 2, that's going to top the charts. That's going to be huge for that platform. To have a game like Ghosts of Tabor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just being able to drop your other games around the corner. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. No news on when, even in the Upload VR article I saw of them announcing the Pico platform launch, at the bottom it was like, Ghosts of Tabor's comment on the PSVR 2 launch is quote unquote soon. But I think that's good. You don't set any official date. You don't rush yourself. Let it cook in the oven. Let it marinate. And then when it's ready, it's ready. So that's going to be huge once they're on PC VR, Quest, Pico, and PSVR. They're going to dominate even more.
Well, dude, they're already dominating.
Do you think Grim will be available on all those platforms too? I mean, we know it's going to be on PSVR 2. We saw him have the dev kit in the interview last week, Spoon.
There's no doubt.
So the only one in question there is the Pico platform.
I mean, and I don't know how the whole side of business works. So everything you're going to hear is just pure speculation. But I would think that like once you've set up the network chain, that you have access to Pico people and you know what has to be done.
Now you've done it for one game already.
There's no reason you can't do it for another game. It's just once you've already originally broken that ice and you know the process. Just like getting on the store. I'm sure if you get your game on the store and you make a new game, you're going into it right off the bat with a much deeper understanding of what you should be doing from day one.
Yeah, the developers of Space Pirate Trainer.
So yes, I will say, I would assume sooner or later it would end up on the Pico.
Yeah, and the second one you said, like the developers of Space Pirate Trainer, they made BAM. Look at BAM, got right on the store. Iron Strike, that's made by the same developer as Iron Lights.
Learn, right? I mean, it's like anything else.
You get those connections too,
Correct.
So
Correct.
It makes sense. It seems like a lot of any industry is, who those connections and
who
everything.
you know is the.
It's like the unwritten rule of any industry.
I've gotten 2 jobs in my life because of who I know, not what I know, and neither one of which I was qualified for.
Yeah, it's the unwritten rule of any industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way it goes.
Because people know the person. If you know somebody and you really know them as a person, let's say they're genuinely a good person, you know they're a hardworking person, they're dedicated, they have all these qualities, you can set them up with that opportunity to, I mean, I guess it's a gamble either way, but it's a gamble I think you're less likely to lose because you actually know the human being. Unless it's surgery or court, you pretty much figure out anything, so it's just up to the individual. But yes, it's who you know, dude.
Yeah. In other news, Wanderers, the Fragments of Fate, one of my most upcoming hyped games in the whole VR industry right now. It's a remaster of the original Wanderer, which was available only on PC VR. This one's going to be available also on PC VR, but also Quest and PlayStation VR too. It's going to have everything from the original game, plus it sounds like some extra content. I'm so hyped for it. It was supposed to come out June 27th. Unfortunately, last week, the developers announced that they need to delay it until September 12th. But I'm not, even though how hyped I am for it, like I said, it's one of my most hyped upcoming VR games. I'm not exactly sad to see it delayed because I would rather see it delayed 2-3 months, whatever, and have it released properly than them, cut content or have bugs or have a sloppy launch just to meet that June 27th deadline.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they don't usually hold it back just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
So
Something came up. There had to be a bug or maybe they weren't meeting as fast progress
pure
as they thought. But for whatever reason, Wanderer, the Tales, the Fragments of Fate, Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate delayed until September 12th. But again, I'm hyped, but I'm not crying about it because if it means a proper launch, I'm happy. That's all I need. And then in other news, Niantic. They're the makers of Pokemon Go, the AR app that everybody's heard of at this point. They launched a new app on the Quest 3 called Hello Dot, and it's a demo. It's free, so you don't need to pay anything for it. It's not really the most in-depth or anything, but it puts this little virtual pet thing in your living room.
Pokepet.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not Pokemon, but let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. Like a cross between Pokemon and Digimon shit,
It's like a VR version of an existing series they have called Peridot. So this is the VR adaptation of it, spin-off, I guess you could say. And again, it's pretty limited in what you can do. You can pick it up, you can interact with it, play with it a little bit, but it shows off a lot of cool potential. Hand tracking, occlusion with the mixed reality. So definitely worth checking out. It's a free demo. I mean, doesn't hurt anything just to see the potential of it. I was even just saying last week how I think Nintendogs or Cats, remember the Cats and Dogs series that ended with the Z? Like that, I think that would work great in mixed reality or in VR. And then boom, this launches. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like the prototype of that.
Yeah, the Dogs and Cats one was, I think when you guys were little, had the first one definitely and the second one.
On the computer?
Yeah.
They were awesome games.
They're fucking wicked cool, man. Name the thing and everything, play with it.
Pick the breed.
I mean, some jank graphics by today's comparison.
Oh, but it's not, the graphics didn't matter. It was the depth of the gameplay. That's all that mattered.
So it could be done. But
yeah.
This looks cool. I just don't download demos. I'll tell you why, man. I don't want it stuck in my library forever,
Don't you wish you could remove it?
If I could remove it, I would download demos, but I fell for that trap once with, I think it was Creed.
But what if this never becomes anything more than just a free demo? Like
Then
that's what it is. It's like a prototype.
I'll watch the videos. And I'll wait for a company to make the game.
I'm definitely gonna grab it. I'm
I will
curious to check it out.
I will live vicariously through you.
I'll let you know how it is then. I'm curious to check it out just on concept.
The footage looked cool. So I'm like, all right, I get what, but if I'm stuck with it and there's nothing that's gonna more happen with it, and I don't know, I just don't want it in my headset.
Well, I'm also not expecting it to be something that gives you 20 hours of content or anything like that. I'm thinking I'm going to hop into it and just see more of like, potential more than anything. But I'm down to explore it. And by the way, I don't know how I didn't mention this while we mentioned Ghosts of Tabor launching on Pico. They teased an upcoming Bunker Cat update. Remember on April Fools when they put the meowing cat?
Yep.
They're going to put an actual Bunker Cat in your bunker. And it sounds like you're going to be, I think I read that you can disable it if you want.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if it doesn't have the disable button, there are people who are gonna go ape shit. There are people already going ape shit thinking that they weren't going to be able to disable it.
Well, on April Fool's, you couldn't see it or anything like that. So it was just the noise. At least you're going to actually be able to see the bunker cat and feed it and stuff like that.
I love the one guy in their Discord who was like, I don't know how to get it to stop crying. I put down food, put down all sorts of shit, like a full spread for it.
That was one of my favorite posts.
Food. I'm like, oh man, it's just an April Fool's joke.
I'll say too, as I've plugged it before, but we hype up their Discord a lot just on like size, over 100K members. Come on. But, I got a real soft spot for their official Facebook group. The official Ghosts of Tabor Facebook group is pretty lit.
Yeah, different
format.
Different vibe than the Discord.
Sometimes it's a little bit not easier because, of course, there's the announcement section of the Discord to keep track of stuff. But I don't know. I like the format of Facebook groups
easier
too.
by not being like, hey, wow, that took... you can just have contests to see how long it takes for your text to disappear.
And kind of less loose stuff just because people's actual Facebook profiles attached to what they're saying as well, too. So
go figure.
I will plug it, their Facebook group. Maybe I shouldn't spoil it. It's like a hidden gem, but I will say that's
like finding a good restaurant. You just want to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, man, I'm a real sucker for a good Facebook group. I can't lie.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Ruff Talk VR Facebook group that I've never plugged once. So there's like 23 members in it.
Just organically stumbled on it.
Yeah, I don't even know how those 23. It might be a couple of my friends. You, me.
That's funny.
But I guess maybe a couple people can find it now. There's a Ruff Talk VR Facebook group if people really like Facebook groups and stuff like that. And then another game that I love, I'm pretty sure you love it as well, Racket Club from Resolution Games. A great utilization of sports and fitness in virtual reality, but I think even better in mixed reality. I say that every time we talk about it. They added a new update that adds 2 new courts to the game to play on and a ball cannon to play with. So a cannon that will launch balls at you. I think that could be good for practicing your hit.
That's what they do in the real world.
Correct. And it's a free update. It also increases your max player level, adds some new clothing. So cool stuff. Good stuff from Resolution Games. I loved Racket Club. A little bit of a sleeper at this point, just because there's been so many launches in 2024.
It's weird. I feel like it gets attention, but I don't feel like it gets enough attention.
That's exactly how I feel.
It's weird. It's in this. It's like, and I don't think it's doing bad either.
No.
I just don't think it's doing as great as I would think it should. But if it's a long-term stock, then it's doing phenomenal.
Yeah,
because I see how they're going to keep making little changes.
Remember when we talked to them? They have the machine learning with the AI on it, so it learns from the top players.
That was the best time to play the game.
Right at the start.
Fuck, are you kidding me? We had early access, I think. So yeah, that was the best time because it's only as smart as we are. Or
now it's even getting better.
It. Yeah, now
I still pop into that one every once in a while. Like I said, probably one of the pinnacles of VR sports right now.
It's got great esport potential.
Wicked competitive.
If VR esport so chose to.
And that's not the first time that Resolution's gone that route. Remember Blast On? So great stuff from Resolution Games, keeping Racket Club going strong.
Only getting better.
And speaking of a game that's the best time to play, man, I factory resetted my headset. So most games cloud save, but it seems like Underdogs VR I lost my save data for, but I'm not even mad about it. It'd been a couple months since I went in, and Underdogs VR, that's another game that is the exact same category that you just said. You could copy and paste what you said before about Racket Club, that it's doing good, and it's going along, but you feel like maybe you should do even better. Underdogs is one of the best releases of the year, in my opinion. So fun, such a good soundtrack, killer voice acting.
Underdogs has like the one movement system I hate, but
does it right.
I don't want it any other way in what they did. And I mean, if you're going to classify it as a
roguelite,
as a mech game, don't even get me started with the roguelite chick because I just don't even feel it. It's really weird. I know it's a roguelite, but I don't feel
they
like
took all these things that you don't like and put it in a way that you love it.
Game that I fucking love. It's got one of the best soundtracks for a video game
and voice acting.
Some of the best voiceover work for the world they've created.
Dude, how about I hate that graphical style? That kind of like cartoon stencily.
It all works.
I love it in Underdogs.
It's like the developers took all the best ingredients and just put them. I don't know. Like I said, as a whole,
amazing game.
Fucking love it, man.
But Underdogs is a game that, since it's a roguelite, that's not really designed that you beat it on your first run. And every time after you play it, you unlock new items and new characters to encounter and unlock during your next run. So the game gets more and more content each time you play it.
Yeah.
I had a suspicion that it also got harder because you had more options to choose, more potential items to get.
It gets harder
with each run, right? So I'm doing my first run on it since I, loaded up new save. So it's treating me like a new save.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I'm having my best run ever. Just got farther than I've ever gotten so far.
Yeah, because you also know what
to do.
Like when you complete all the shit and you go to the shop and you have all these parts you can buy. I know for a fact when I first started playing that game, I wasted money on shit that I really wasn't paying attention to how good the other stuff might have been, or I was putting stuff on that had like a negative effect as well.
Or like nail gun sounds super cool. Now I know not to buy that shit.
I got all like starry-eyed looking at just the hit points or something, or the damage, not the other side of it. And so it took me a couple runs before I even figured out, like, oh, I got to be really... Dude, there's times I go to the shop, I don't spend no money. I'm like, there's nothing in here I'm wasting my money on.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even going to try to steal it. Swear to goodness.
Yeah, because I'll be like, I don't want the chance of losing them. I just don't want any of their stuff now. Remember how big of a deal it was to beat Usman the first time? Usman's a joke these days. I plow through that guy.
It's like nothing.
Even the gorilla on my current run, man, a gorilla pops up on me. I just walk up to it and go, smash, 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 done. So
I used almost 100% my right hand only.
And just use the left hand for launching and pulling yourself back. And
I got different perks for the left hand just to support my fighting style.
Like your locomotion movement. Like,
right now I'm on day 9.
Yeah.
In this current run I'm doing.
I believe that the total game is 30 days, I think. I almost don't even want to win. I want to make it to like day 25 or something like that, just so I keep going back.
Die.
But even if I beat it, I'll probably do another one, because what's the chance that, everything...
That's what I do, and I play for a little bit, and I get a little sweat going, and then I'm like, all right, I'll just come back to it later.
Yeah.
Switch to something else.
No news with Underdogs either. I'm just mentioning how freaking good of a game
it's a sleeper. It should have gotten, like you said, put it in the same... I don't think it's doing bad. I just don't think they're crushing it to the level that I would hope they would.
And at launch, they had talked, depending on
long term, I believe they will.
At launch, they had talked about, depending on the success of the game, they would explore the possibility of multiplayer. And I never knew if they meant PvP or doing like co-op together. I don't know the answer to that, but I hope that possibility isn't gone. And I really hope that they allow the possibility of co-op runs together.
I hope if it's co-op, there better be team damage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like up to and including like your buddy punching the thing and the thing flies into you. And
dude, imagine those sick combos you could do. Yeah,
dude, you could stand across and like literally just punch back and forth.
And yes, I would expect that there would then be more enemies coming out, just like all games that, you duplicate the amount of players fighting. Yeah, you throw more enemies at us. That keeps it balanced, but I hope that's still a possibility. Another game too is Dungeons of Eternity. We went back into it. Dude, I think that there were some moments I had tears in my eyes laughing. We checked out the new hardest difficulty mode, which I was a little cocky going into. I won't lie. And we got absolutely schooled. We made it to the final room on one.
Yeah.
But then we got...
Yeah, fucked up.
Yeah, that giant...
wasp.
Well, before the wasp, remember the giant...
eyeball.
The giant eyeball with all of his little eyeballs around him, he took forever to kill. And then that wasp murked us. And then we encountered our first mimic chest as well, which scared the bejeebus out of us. It was just genuine.
I wasn't expecting it.
No, they did a great job. We were so excited to get our first loot of the run. And then pop, you even had your arrow cocked back ready to go for all the future ones, or your crossbow, I mean.
Oh, yeah. The minute you open it, I don't care if it glue correct color or not. I throw an arrow in it.
And then I remember
dude.
There was one time you forgot to do that. And then, of course, what happens?
Yeah.
Mimic pops up. You're like, damn it, I forgot. So, man, the new Dungeons of Eternity update with the new difficulty mode, the new room varieties, the Mimic chest. Wow, they're doing a great job keeping that game alive, too. our VR game of the year last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad to see, like,
no, they're not slowing down.
no, it's only going to get better and better.
The roadmap is good.
Yeah. So back to news. I was checking out Upload VR, and they did a nice little write up on a upcoming VR game that's in very early access right now. Even to play it, you have to go in their Discord to get access to it. It's not like something that's just available on App Lab or anything, but it's called Pencil. It's a VR app that teaches you art lessons on a piece of paper with a pencil.
Like a sketch pad.
And you know what, man? I'm down for that. I love those type of potential, teaching apps for art stuff in VR. And by arts, I mean both, drawing, but also like the musical arts, like stuff like Piano Vision and Paradiddle, that kind of stuff.
I'm for all of it. So I'll be excited when this one's ready to come out.
Yeah, I don't want to check it out and talk about it and do anything unfair because it's in very early access right now.
Not going to sign up.
But that's one that I think that has a lot of potential. I would love to see somebody do one that's like Piano Vision, but with guitar, I think that there's a lot of, because you're looking down, what people did Unplugged,
I mean, because you can really overlay
onto a real guitar.
Or your drum set and paradiddle on your drum set.
Why couldn't you do it in a guitar?
Do it with a guitar?
I think it would work great. Am I crazy?
No, I mean, it's no reason it couldn't be done.
The future is bright for learning in virtual reality and mixed reality, that's for sure. So, on to the next news. Beat Saber.
Or someone just makes a virtual guitar that you can legit play chords and stuff on, and then you don't need to overlay shit.
If it was like Piano Vision, they would probably give you the option for both, right? Piano Vision smart with that they give you the virtual
if you want
one
to create like a virtual only band,
mm-hmm.
then you don't give the option to put it over a real instrument. It's like only for the virtual world. And then why? I mean, that one game does have kind of instruments that are not known, but they should be creating, like, again, instruments that you couldn't create in the real world and make it strictly in the virtual world. So open up that whole new side of music.
I also like even just the idea of learning in VR.
Oh, for
I like
learning,
that.
yeah. I'm not upset about it. But I'd like to see you could learn something that you can't have. Like this instrument doesn't exist. Somebody invented it. And so we'll see.
Remember when Vermilion launched, everybody was posting their same Bob Ross photo that they have you draw?
Yeah.
But guess what? That's a photo that most of those people like myself would never have been able to draw.
Have done it. Wouldn't have
or
known
paint
anything.
without that app. So I wish that they had even more of those follow along tutorial videos. Yeah, cool stuff. A lot of potential there with Pencil. And then another VR news, Beat Saber. They announced that, unfortunately, they're dropping Quest 1 multiplayer support this upcoming November. So Quest 1 users, I don't want to sound rude or anything like that, but more and more games dropping support. It's probably about time to upgrade. I commend those that managed to stick out the entire Quest 2 generation and not upgrade from their Quest 1, because there was a large group of people that were like, nope, I'm keeping my Quest 1. Still works good. I don't care that Resident Evil VR was exclusive to Quest 2, but at this point, it's pretty reasonable to see games like Beat Saber dropping Quest 1 support.
I don't know why you don't own a Quest 1. Why are you holding on to it?
Well, at this point with the Quest 2 for $199.
I don't care if it was $399. Why are you holding on to a Quest 1? Because the reality is like flat screen world. If you had Nintendo and then Super Nintendo came out, you were getting Super Nintendo, right? It's just the way it is. Reaches a point where you just got to move with the times. I mean, Quest 1, dude.
And like I said, even if you don't want to upgrade directly up to the Quest 3, I mean, the Quest 2 is $199 right now, so not a bad time either.
I'd go Quest 3.
Yeah.
Don't look back, because when you finally put a Quest 3 on, you're going to be like, shit. If I had known it was that damn good, I would have just waited another couple months or whatever and gotten I mean, it's a great price if you want a Quest 2, but if you don't have to, I'd get to 3, especially if you're using a 1.
It's funny to hear you say this after using your Quest 2 last week.
Because I mean, it's
like, I can't recommend it.
I wouldn't. Not with the other option for,
That's
$300 more. You're going to get something that's worth that extra money. It's like, hey, entry level shit, you don't want anything fancy. You don't want to enjoy the feeling of being able to read your cell phone while in pass through and color, see your animals.
I love mixed reality and pass through.
Yeah, it's the other thing. These games are doing great with,
like Hello Dot, the pet demo that we talked about above. Good luck with that.
Freaking Demio with just putting some paintings on your wall and hanging.
I don't like to play
shit
Demio in the virtual environment at this point. Why would I?
They do a good, and because they decorate my room for me.
Mm-hmm. And then I get to still be in my living room.
So, get your Quest 3.
And then speaking of rhythm games, Drums Rock, a game that for the last 12 months has done such an unbelievable job with DLCs. Their music library, they're getting like really good big titles. I've really commended them a lot this past year. They announced a new DLC that they call their Legendary Mix Volume 2. Adds 3 new Green Day songs, a song from Disturbed, and another song that's that 500-mile song. I would walk 500 miles. I'm pretty sure that's what song it is. So good stuff from Drums Rock, adding another.
I can hear it in my head.
That would be pretty fun in Drums Rock.
That'd be fun in any of them, dude.
Mm-hmm. Nah, man, now I want to play Valhalla on Ragnarok.
Yeah, I still play that.
There's times we've been playing it together, I've gotten way too into it.
I not only play it, I watch the dumb YouTube. Have you ever watched the YouTube video? Like the video for the song?
The music video? No.
It's fucking great.
Song all about IKEA.
It's so good, dude.
Great song. But Drums Rock, their new DLC, huge props to them for continuing to get those officially licensed artists.
Yeah, they can stop with the Green Day though.
And then another
3's good.
And then Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Help Wanted, it launched on the Quest for $39.99 last week. Not a series that I've ever checked out. That seems like a very high price point for that game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know how to really respond to that.
I didn't realize it was $39.99 until I was making my notes about it, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, it's a little
steep for what it is.
I would have thought 24, 29 on the high.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're dealing with something that's.
Am I reading that right?
It's a proven product for them. So,
hey, speaking of things that are a high price, something that I was looking at, I was like, how much would it cost for a news broadcaster stand? Like they use
$3,000, man. Yeah,
$3,000 on the low end.
Mm-hmm.
$3,000 to like $13,000. I was like, oh my goodness.
The actual news desk. I liked the stand-up ones.
I was like, I guess I'm learning carpentry. I guess I'm learning how to do that myself.
No.
There's no way. There's no way.
I thought of some alternatives of like a glass table, like a high top.
Oh, you would have to Mickey Mouse it at that point for that price point. But I was like, well, news broadcaster studio stand, that ain't happening.
Although next time we move the studio, we're definitely gonna.
Oh, we're already planning.
Table and all that shit.
We're plotting the next. What is it going to be? Version 9 of the studio. But every time it gets better. We got big plans for the next 12 months. That's for sure. So, in other news, Star Wars Tales of Galaxy Edge, it tops the April PSVR 2 charts. That's pretty cool to see. And when I was taking a look at it, what I love to see, besides Beat Saber also being on the top 10 of every freaking VR chart.
Every platform in the world?
yeah. If there's a VR platform, Beat Saber's in the top 5. 100% of the time, yeah. But Swordsman VR is still topping that top 10 list as well.
Oh, on PSVR.
Yeah. Swordsman VR is a great job with them. But to see Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge top that April PSVR 2 chart, that was unexpected.
I think Ghosts of Tabor is going to top it.
That's what I said earlier. Yeah. I think it's going to be
the more I think about it.
Honestly, it's kind of a game that would look good on PSVR. Everybody says PSVR 2 shows off like darks and blacks really good, and you think of like Underground Maka, you think of Missile Silo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could see actually PSVR 2 being a very good platform to play that on.
No, I think it's going to look beautiful.
Yeah. So Star Wars Tales of Galaxy's Edge topping the chart this month, but their time is limited. And then in other news, Razer, the accessory manufacturer, they announced that they're launching new Quest 3 accessories, which are going to be a new head strap and a facial interface. So another player has entered the market with VR accessories.
And Razer, that's when shit's getting real. And you start seeing these branded companies start coming in, because in the gaming industry, I mean, for competitive gaming, I mean, I'm going years back. They really had a good name for themselves with having really good gaming products. So to me, that's a game changer.
Yeah. And it's actually going to be part of the Made for Meta program. The same one that I think Kiwi has a product that's made for Meta. B Haptics was announced the other week, made for Meta, which, by the way, I will say, thanks to the Quest Creator Program, if you want to hold the mic for a moment while I go grab it, we were able to score some B Haptics haptic vests. Not the X40, not the one with the 40 haptic vest, like, signals.
The 16.
The 16. So let me go grab it right there. It's right there.
Yep. No, I've been dying to try. I've been dying to try haptics since I knew we could, and now we've been able to try it. And I won't lie, I tried it in Dungeons of Eternity. It was freaking awesome. Every time you hit your sword, it goes off. Pretty sure by this time, everybody in the world has seen what haptics look like.
Yeah. Look at this thing. It's cool. Sweet.
Yeah, it's nice. And it works.
Yeah.
So that's what I like more than anything.
And technically, we had it coming to us before the Made for Meta X40 announcement was done. So it's unrelated to that, but I'm actually glad that we got to try the X16 instead of right into the X40 or anything like that, because now if we ever do try the X40 in the future,
We know how to compare it to the 16. Yeah.
correct. But don't think so I was expecting that thing to cover to my waist. Don't think when I put it on, I was, it was kind of like more of like a,
I got the kid model.
I was like, okay, I can see right away the benefit of the X40 for people my size.
That's the 80s half shirt shit going on there.
But
Because men and women wear half shirts.
even the native app for it that they have you download on the Quest headset for it, it lets you
pretty cool.
test it out. It shows you simulated haptic feels for
Dude, they got
each thing.
30 different modes you can put it into.
They let you do shooting, what it feels like to get shot, hit by a chair. I think wind, rain,
If you can think of it, they did it.
which for it all in the end just being vibrations. I mean, it does a great job simulating those feels. And you were enjoying it a lot in Dungeons of Eternity.
Yeah, I'm not going to play it without it.
Wasn't it going off every time you shot with your crossbow?
Yeah, just like when you shoot a gun.
Instantly wanted the full setup too. The arms, the hands. They even have a facial interface.
Cheeks.
I remember the other week you were talking when we first talked about the Made for Meta announcement, B Haptics. You were saying well, what about headshots? I want some headshots. They have a facial interface haptic one. So you put it for
where it's at.
Yeah, that way
Especially if it's back of the head, front of the head. So you just I mean, I guess
we still got.
Does it really matter? Because technically, if you got shot in the head, you probably wouldn't feel it anyways.
We still got to go into Ghosts of
dead.
Tabor for it though, just to especially be able to pick out where you're getting shot from, that type of stuff. Not that you can get shot a whole bunch in
Dude,
Ghosts of Tabor, but
any shooter that
supports it,
I'm down with it.
yeah. So huge thanks to the MetaQuest Creator Program for helping us score some B Haptics X16 haptic vest.
Putting it to use.
Yeah, now I already got the X40 on my radar because the X16 was pretty sweet. And then Marvel, they announced that they're making an hour-long mixed reality experience, interestingly enough, for the Apple Vision Pro, not the Quest 3. I'm curious if we'll ever see it come to headsets that people own.
that was pretty low. Where people can afford.
Yeah, that people can afford.
If pretentious Marvel wants
The most
to cater
the
to
most
the upper
gate
class,
kept, yes, the most pricely gate kept hour-long Marvel film in the world.
When I heard it was coming out for the Vision Pro, it's like, well, all right, well, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sure it's going to be cool.
Zero dog in the hunt.
It would be cool.
Had you not mentioned it, I wouldn't have been like, yo, man.
Don't forget to mention Marvel's launching.
You didn't throw that Apple plug.
So hopefully we see that launch on the Quest 3 in the future, because it's probably going to be pretty sweet. There's a lot of Marvel fans out there.
My theory is they're putting it on Apple first so they can really maximize the capabilities of the
Vision
headset,
Pro,
and then they'll dumb it down for us Quest users.
Us standalone boys.
Yep.
So that was cool to see, though. At least Marvel's taking some more peeks at VR.
Well, it's just like Razer.
The big boys are coming in.
It's no different than like if you put a Target on your property or Target, you're going to attract like 20 different tenants that are willing to pay you big money to be next to Target. So you're starting to see now these companies that, I expect to see this though. And that's the good signs when people are now like sniffing, I smell money.
Yeah.
Which is all it's really about at the end of the day is they see the ability to make money. And that shows you just how strong the industry is getting.
And I made that joke about like maybe they'll put it on headsets that people actually own. But the reality is that if big players like Marvel are taking any look at VR in any capacity, regardless of what headset it is, that's a good thing. It's just more attention on the VR industry. The best thing for the VR industry would be the Apple Vision Pro crushing it and growing a bunch. We've already seen Meta innovate like a mofo. Apple has some cool features. Meta's very quick on it pushes them to innovate,
Apple's going to keep being Apple, and they're going to make their high-end headset, and even their low-end headset's probably going to cost more than most people would want to spend. And I feel like Meta is going to keep doing their shit and making it affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Even it might not be the best, but you can afford it. And then the next thing they make is going to be even better, but it's still going to be affordable in comparison.
And there's all these rumors of the Quest Lite coming out soon, which would probably be the biggest justification to not get a Quest 2 at $199 if they're going to be in the next year or so dropping a Quest Lite.
I wouldn't wait a year, though.
I know, that's the problem.
If
you want VR, just get it now.
Dude, if you're going to wait a year, if you got enough money for the Quest,
just go hop into VR and enjoy it.
Just wait. Wait another month or two, 3 or 4. Who cares? A year? Because that's a year of shit you're missing out on.
Yeah.
Big time.
But there's rumors of the Quest Lite coming out at some point, which will only even make the entry point even more affordable. So let's see. Good times. Good times. And then Space Pirate Trainer DX. I actually referenced Space Pirate Trainer earlier because the developers are also making BAM. But they announced that Space Pirate Trainer DX is getting a Quest 3 upgrade, improving frame rate and textures. Surprisingly, a game that I have yet to hop in.
Keeping it alive, man.
We've had so many people in interviews reference Space Pirate Trainer
as one of their first experiences.
That not only as one of their first experiences, but also one of their first experiences that really sold them on VR. So it's one that I kind of feel like, I feel a duty to go check it out at some point just because of how OG it is. But it's cool to see it still getting love and updates and everything like that.
I figure if they're going to bring it to the 3 specifically, then I owe it to try it.
Like do Quest 3 specific improvements? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you need a big environment to play it or something like that. I always remember there being some caveat, but I got my garage, man. We can throw on our headsets, hop in my garage and have a great freaking time. We're due to check it out, that's for sure. And then another one with recent updates, Iron Lights VR. You know what? That's another one that's a sleeper. I think it really floated under the radar when it released because, notably to me, it came out the same day as Assassin's Creed VR. That's very bad timing for release. But Iron Lights VR, which is a really fun co-op game, it already got another update earlier this year in February, and they just launched a new one last week, bringing 4 new weapons, new armor, 5 new bosses, and a new level to the game. So that's a pretty hefty amount of content right there.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people that didn't seem to care for it, I guess, but
I just don't think those people really even checked it out. There was a lot of people that were like, no, it doesn't capture my eye, but if you like co-op gaming, it's a co-op roguelite.
Anytime we play it together, I have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'll say.
It's a co-op roguelite.
Solo, I don't have as much fun.
It's a game that's playable 1 to 4, and in my opinion, the real highlight comes 2 to 4 people, especially because you're seeing all the different classes, the different weapon types. Really fun game. So cool to see that get another update as well. Great game. Highly recommend it, especially if you like co-op gaming. And then in another bit of VR news, Thief Sim VR officially launched on the PlayStation VR 2.
Yay.
A game we freaking loved with Uncle Vinny, man.
Yeah, that fucking guy.
Bringing one of the best narrators.
That guy.
Bringing one of the best narrators to the PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm hyped for that one.
Uncle Vinny.
Uncle Vinny. Everyone's favorite uncle.
Uncle Vinny's a little sad about Manscaped. I say
maybe we messed up by bringing up, because coincidentally the other week we brought up that old ad read, and I'm just saying.
Oh, dude, that's 100% possible.
A couple weeks later,
I say we dropped the one that we never wanted to drop.
Oh,
because we were worried that.
I'm less concerned about Manscaped. I'm more concerned about what our viewers will think. our listeners will think.
We'll make that a Patreon thing.
They're going to be like, is this what they think in Massachusetts?
Hey, you don't know what we think in Massachusetts. And it's not Uncle Vinny's not from Massachusetts, huh?
But Thief Sim VR is a burglary simulator.
Home
no
invasion
violence.
without the violence.
Correct. We had even
That's all it
joked that the only reason that you can't strike people is because then it would be called Home Invasion VR.
Which I wouldn't be upset about it.
No, dude, when you get caught, like when not
You go to
caught by
jail.
the police, but I mean like when like the person catches you and they're just like screaming and running around, setting off the alarm, I totally wish you could just knock them.
Well, what if they fought?
Oh, now you're
You're
squaring up.
taking damage.
Yeah.
If they got no medicine in that house, the dude gonna fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
Home invasion, Texas. Yeah, shit, you get shot at every house. Like you want to get 10 feet into the lawn. They'll blast you to the curb.
But really fun game. You got to be innovative with how you break into the houses, not
great
get
game.
caught. You love breaking all the toilets because there's, it's one thing to get your home robbed. It's another thing to be on your way home from work.
Gotta pee wicked bad. Yeah.
Pee, maybe even shit. You're just excited to get home and use that toilet. And like the closer you get, the more you got to go. And then you like go in, you're like, that's weird. My window's open, but like you got to go so bad. You don't even have time to investigate. You freaking just like you're running. And then you get to your bathroom and your toilet is shattered. Shattered? You'd be like, what?
Glass in the hole in the ground.
What a horrible person. It's one thing to steal my TV and my
That's what I do.
jewelry.
I steal
you
your
break my
shit and
toilet?
I break your toilet.
Now I'm like, by the time the cops come here, I got poop in my pants. It's just a bad scene.
That's fucked up. But I do love breaking the toilets.
Yeah, you did it like every time.
Every house I get into,
smash.
if I can get that toilet, fucked. I might not even take anything. Just they're ruining days. Whole streets, whole neighborhood full of broken toilet houses.
That's awesome.
It's because Uncle Vinny has a plumbing business, you see.
And then another one, it's an upcoming one, Underworld Overseer. It's going to be made by the same developer as Deism. Our boy Tommy, we actually interviewed him on a past interview.
Love Deism.
Yeah, this one's going to have you kind of manage a dungeon simulator. It looks like you guide your characters from a top-down view through a dungeon. That's what it looked like, at least.
What it kind of looked like.
I of course would need to check it out, but their description is that you're playing the godlike overseer, and you're going to take them through underground layers through an 18-level campaign. So let's see.
And I believe just like Deism, that might be how it starts, but that's not going to be
That's
like
going
the
to grow.
end game. Yeah.
I believe he teased it a little bit too when we interviewed him back then, that he was
I
working
think so.
on a next game that was going to be something like this. So I'm excited.
I got faith.
It's one of those examples you talk about all the time. You do good once, I have faith for you going forward. So based off of Deism, a completely different game than this one, I have full faith on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'll definitely check it out when it comes out. So Underworld Overseer was the name. And then Rooms of Reality, one of the sleeper releases of the year. One of the last times we'll say that.
App Lab.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be
on
one
App
of those last App Lab releases that we say, oh, this shouldn't be on App Lab. This should be on the official store because, as we've talked about the last 2 weeks before this, App Lab is going away. So technically, Rooms of Reality soon will be on the official MetaQuest store. But awesome escape room game. It's a co-op escape room, playable up to 4 people. I think even best played with more than one person, of course. But they're adding new content to their last chapter in the game because the game's broken into 3 different chapters. But in each chapter, you get 3 different puzzles. So it was a total of like 9.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're adding more content to that last one. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's more missions, more stuff in each existing mission, but whatever that means, they're expanding their content in that 3rd chapter.
I hope they do another game.
Unfortunately, in the release notes for the update, they called it the final update.
That's it.
It's done after this.
Mm-hmm.
And that, man, there's so much potential to keep that game going and alive. I just don't think it got the attention that it deserved because it didn't get on the official store.
Yeah,
But it deserved to be on the official store, though.
Sure did.
I'll die on that hill with this one. It's a fun game.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, I guess.
I can totally...
I don't even know if they made a push to go to the store.
Imagine me and you bought a headset tomorrow. For the first time, we just got into VR. I can totally imagine seeing co-op escape room and going nuts, like buying it day one right away. That's a no-brainer. I think there's a huge market of people that want that style of game.
You'd have to catch me after a couple of weeks when I'm done with I Expect You to Die, though.
But you wouldn't know about it yet.
I Expect You to Die?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would. Because right now, I go on my headset, I'm still stuck with I would have to search for app. I would have to know it exists.
I know. I'm just saying, imagine that you got a headset tomorrow with no knowledge of VR. You're going as a fresh new consumer. Of course, you would discover I Expect You to Die before it was reality because of it being on App Lab. But if it wasn't, if it was just one of those games on the rotation.
I would have looked at it just on co-op.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You make a good point, too. I Expect You to Die is so much. Between all three of them. My fear is that a new VR user doesn't think to go into I Expect You to Die 1 because they don't think it would hold up or something like that. But even graphically, it's solid by 2024 standards.
Does its job well. Wait until I Expect You to Die comes out with a co-op whole.
That would be insane.
Season, whatever you want to call it, chapter.
And Shell Games is working on Silent Slayer coming out sometime 2024. So I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It's available for pre-order on the MetaQuest store as well, too. So we got to check it out, a little early preview of it a couple months ago. That was maybe a month ago, actually. It was a lot of fun. So I'm hyped for that. But
it's a good game.
Anybody just getting into VR, don't be scared to go right into I Expect You to Die 1. Start there, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Don't go right into 3.
And then get 3.
3 is the best of them, but start at 1. There's so much content in each one. Oh, such a good series.
3 was good, but 2 had probably the best acting score.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
So,
but 3 was my favorite with gameplay.
I was like, the plot was pretty damn good.
That theme song in the third one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that car level, I say all the time, is such a good show off of VR to show your friends and stuff like that. Show them
any of them, any level, except maybe in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end when you're fighting a boss and shit.
But that's why
the bad guy.
That's why I think that first level, the first one, because it's designed with you not supposed to have any knowledge of the game series or anything yet. It's perfect for just boom, that first quick experience. But nonetheless, and then
ain't gonna be a quick experience.
No, and that's it for VR for VR news too. I just kind of want to run off some upcoming games for the Quest that are coming out through the rest of May. Most of them are going to be all on the same day. And then there's one other on a different day. But we have Masters of Light coming out May 16th, which was shown off on the Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase.
Yep.
Super hyped for that one. So Masters of Light, May 16th. Also May 16th, we have Retropolis 2 dropping. We also have Ultimate Swing Golf coming out on May 16th.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that one. Some Assembly Required is coming out May 16th. I haven't really checked that one out too much yet. And then Tank Arena Ultimate League is coming out May 23rd. So 4 games coming out on May 16th and then 1 game coming out on May 23rd. I've said it so many times. I know I'm going to be annoying. I don't know why we don't have one come out May 13th, then the 14th.
Well,
and the 15th.
Since everything's upside
then the
down
16th,
now
17th, 18th.
in the VR world anyways, because you're killing App Lab, then why can't you have games come out?
Why does they all have to be on freaking May 16th? That's crazy. That's
just VR anarchy going on now.
Well, because you hear what happened. I listed off 4 games, and there was one Ultimate Swing Golf that you went, I'm so excited for it. And now, unfortunately, that's probably going to overshadow those other 3 releases to you.
Yes.
And that's not fair.
1,000,000%.
That's not fair at all. I'm super excited for Masters of Light and Retropolis 2 as well. And Ultimate Swing Golf, I just have so many questions about.
You give me all 3 day one, I'm playing golf first.
Yeah, but they shouldn't. But now imagine if, just a little bit more spaced out. I'm talking even by 24 hours.
2-day buffer would be good.
Even 24 hours is better, but I agree. 2-day would be
2-day would be good.
The best. And Tank Arena Ultimate League, I'm excited for that one too, May 23rd. Yeah. So at least that one's a different day. So good stuff for the rest of May. This was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Again, if you enjoy it, it's okay. I'll get right to editing on this one. But again, if you like the episode, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Go join our Discord. Go check out our Patreon. And if you're a podcast, I'm sorry, if you're a VR game studio developer, you want to advertise a bit with some ad reads, hit us up. DAM.
We'll do it in any voice you want.
Yeah, even Uncle Vinny. But DAMIEN at rufftalkvr.com.
You got to really hate your product to want Uncle Vinny to endorse it.
Hey, you don't know. I think we could do it good. Hey.
Nice Italian bakery.
All right. We'll check you guys out. Thank you all for tuning in. This was a fun one. And just the only episode this week. So we'll be back at you next week. Ciao, ciao.